word of thanks before I begin. To the members of the choir, to the chanters, to the readers, for the prayerful way in which they raised up their voices and brought to life these beautiful prayers offered to us by the church. These hymns, these prayers offered on behalf of each of us are physically exhausting, emotionally draining, and spiritually emptying. I find myself exhausted, absolutely tired. Not of an earthly tiredness of just age, but a spiritual emptying and exhaustion from prayer. The hymns offered by the church this evening paint for us two very differing acts on polar opposite sides. They provide us and call us to action and give us really two choices of whom it is that we are called to follow. And it presents these polar opposites in the person of the sinful woman and in the person, a woman consumed up until this time and this moment with earthly concerns and desires, living a life, one can say, far from the teachings of the commandments. And Judas, one of the disciples, traveling together with Jesus, hearing the voice of the Son of God, seeing with his own eyes the miraculous healings, eating from the same loaves and fish which fed the 5,000, seeing and smelling the raising of Lazarus after 4 days, now cunningly looks for a way to betray him. And there we stand. The prayers are, there's nothing to add to them. They are so beautifully and poetically written and offered. As the sinful woman offered myrrh, the disciple was making terms with the lawless. As she found joy pouring out that which was precious, he hastened to sell out the priceless one. As she acknowledged the master, he cut himself off from the master. As she was set free, he fell slave to the enemy. As he watched her kiss his feet, Christ's feet, he was cunningly looking for a way to offer Christ the kiss of betrayal. She unbound her tresses, and he in turn was bound by his anger. He bared foul wickedness instead of myrrh. She, running in her sinfulness, not walking, running. The scene is violent. Running and throwing herself at the feet of Christ, so overcome with her own sinfulness that you can imagine there wasn't much thinking other than a recognition of to whom she needed to go to find healing and where it is that she needed to go to find peace. Pouring out the ointment, mixing it with her tears of repentance, and doing the only thing that she could think of, trying to wipe them off with her hair. That hymn of Kassiani speaks about Eve hearing the footsteps of God after she partook of the fruit from the tree of life, from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And that she, after disobeying God's commandments, ran in fear and hid from him. Living in paradise, disobeyed God, ran and hid from the Lord. And now the sinful woman, we are shown as the opposite, living life away from God, recognizing her sinfulness, running towards these same feet to find forgiveness and repentance. The church places this example on this day as a stark call to attention and beckons us to follow her example and beckons us to not think, to act in prayer, to recognize how far it is that our life has taken us, how far away from God that we have indeed strayed, and to run, not walk, to run, seeking, asking, pleading, begging for mercy, for forgiveness, for life. So that when He raises us up, when God gives us the strength to once again stand and make us and take us from our brokenness and make us once again whole, we may find the strength to glorify